The job is simple. Help us get this caravan into Zion and find New Canaan. The pay is 25 caps per day. Half up front, half on return. You'll get a bonus if we make it into Zion.
This is the third episode of a series documenting my attempt to do a charity ride across America, visiting different locations used in the Fallout setting. I was battered by California physically and emotionally, but I had survived. In Nevada, I was able to visit many locations from New Vegas, with many peaks and valleys in my days. This culminated in the disappointment that was the Strip in Las Vegas. I had just barely survived 98-degree days on the northern shore of Lake Mead, and the heat was not relenting as I neared the borders of Arizona and Utah, when I happened to meet a cyclist couple who took me in and offered me a place to stay to wait out an extra day until the heat broke. Now that was an interesting bridge. I don't think I've ever seen too many bridges like that. If it has a weight limit of 26 tons, I think 91 was like the main route they must have used to get around this part of the world, which is interesting. And you can see the interstates right over there, bypassing all of this. Well, I gotta say, for the little amount of time I've been in Arizona, I'm quite impressed with the geography of it. And this is the river, so very unique area, very cool. Like, that's the desert, there's the river. That's the desert, there's trees. Twisted Tea, official brand of litterers. So, I can see where we're going, out in the distance that way. Thank God for truck stops. This one actually has showers too, so if that was something I needed, I could solve that problem here. Obviously, I had a shower this morning at my host's, so that's not an issue. Plus, I don't know how gross gas station showers are, but why is Interstate 15 one of the sign markers? It's right there. Is it just trying to tell people like they'll go this way? It's 36 miles to get back to Interstate 15. Just take the interstate. So that's where the I-15 goes. They were right. It looks like there's a cut in the earth. That's crazy. $11 miles. I was told it was longer, so I guess that's a plus side. So, 2 states in one day. I like Arizona's sign compared to Utah's. It's pretty funny, the difference. I think it's worth it to make your signs beautiful if it's not expensive. Like cost saving at the absolute minimum, but giving that impression of your state. Not good. Here's an awkward desert situation. I have to take a piss, but I can't find a break in the traffic both directions where I can do it. And there's nothing I can hide behind. It's nowhere. So I just have to wait until like fate finally allows me to take a piss in private. I found a zip tie on the side of the road. Now this is a piece of trash that I'm gonna keep. Well, this is unique. Just a random cliff face here next to the road. And there's like little structures carved into it. I wonder if this was like a rest area off the trail. There's also a old building that's gone over there. You're as tired as I am, anything impresses you. 1,000 more feet to go. Quite the change in scenery. 600 more feet to go. This is an interesting find. This is what made me pull over. Oh, it's an old Specialized bike too. That's a cool bike. Yeah, wow. It's got rim brakes instead of disc brakes. It's got a little lever to pop off. Shifting levers, flat bar. Three in the front, 5 in the back, 7 in the back, something like that. And of course, me at the end of this trip. Hill climbed. Also, holy shit, it's windy up here. Yeah, I'm gonna check the map to make sure there's no like secret climbs coming up, but I think this is the top. Incredible. Okay, listen, I don't normally say that out loud, but it's kind of like you're my thoughts. We're going like 30 miles an hour. Oh, fuck. This road's bumpier than most. And at 30 miles per hour, that's problematic. "33 miles an hour, that's a record. I don't want to set that record." I guess if I crash, that would be good footage though. I think someone's behind me. I can hear the sound of their tires. It's more beautiful coming down than it was coming up. It was very boring Wyoming terrain coming up. But this is definitely in Utah. Man, I am in a drastically different world now. Oh no, getting off that. I hate these highways with the cracked edges. There's a climb. It is officially over. And guess what? You stayed on my head. So that was fun. That's what downhills are like every time. They're fucking scary. My bike weighs 80 pounds. Well, 10 pounds less because of all the water I drank on the way up. But wow, dude. That was the most incredible descent of the trip yet. I don't know. In terms of experience, Panamint Valley was better, but in terms of like just natural beauty, this is the best so far. I'm here on the reservation. I think St. Clara or St. George is just over there. And I passed this gas station and they have a fountain soda shop. So they make like custom sodas with drink mixes. So I got Dr. Pepper with vanilla and coconut. And it was really good. And it's cheap too. I thought that's really novel. I've never seen like a custom soda place before, but that was a really interesting experience. And I really liked the drink. And they had a lot of options on their menu. And they probably make custom stuff too. But yeah, and then this country is just beautiful. But yeah, just a couple more miles and we'll have made the day. This will be the end of me. There's no shoulder. The bike trail is under construction and there's a line of cars coming from a children's soccer game. I will be amazed if I survive the next quarter mile. I can't mock Santa Clara too hard because this is St. George, which is right next to it. I gotta ride through all of this. Deeply embarrassing. I think he should be crucified. All right. Stopped by a bike shop, got a tune-up. $80 turned into $240, of course. Brakes were bled, shifting was tuned. Rear cassette and chain had to be replaced. That's the surprise expense. It wasn't too much of a surprise. I was looking at the like cassette and I was like, damn, it's kind of worn out. And when he was explaining it to me on the phone, I was like, yeah, that kind of tracks with what I've been experiencing. You know, I said yes, and then I looked it up, and I don't think I got taken for a runaround. I mean, the replacement chain is kind of a runaround, but whatever. At least we're fixed up. It's 2 p.m. So we're left with 6 hours of daylight within which to do 50 miles and 2,500 feet of ascent. So that's fun. You know, if I had been responsible, I would have taken care of this yesterday and then, you know, we'd be good to go, but oh well. I will say she's riding a lot smoother. I still haven't named her. I went and got another merino wool shirt and I got gloves in case I got to do another downhill in the cold because, you know, Bryce Canyon's at elevation. But yeah, it's a pretty nice day though. It's a shame that this is not the type of weather I'll get to be enjoying up in the mountains. Oh, I gotta climb. I'm just kidding, we're going that way. But it is interesting. You see these mesas? This bluff, rather. It's a huge impedance to the town. So there's like this just carved out piece right there that the interstate goes through. And then there also happens to be one road. Not really a bike lane on it, but as far as I can tell, it's like the main route between the town that's on this side of this hill and whatever's on that side of this hill. I had Chick-fil-A. It was pretty good. The milkshake was all right, but she gave me extra water for free, which was cool. I don't know if they always do that. It's a beautiful landscape. It's just tarnished by this fucking city. It's just disgusting malls and ugh. It's kind of a cool city, but man, a turf farm. Have you thought about the fact that if we wanted your yard to be green, they would have made it rain more? Pair of ghost bikes. If you don't know, sometimes when a cyclist dies, they take a bike and paint it white, put it on the spot. It's just to memorialize cyclists and hopefully serve as like a reminder that like, hey, you need to be careful when you drive. But I think that if you're not a cyclist, you probably don't really know what a painted white bicycle actually means. I can definitely see how it would happen here, though. This is a crazy spot. Very cool rocks in the distance. I like seeing the layers of sediment, geologic history. Distance. That's why you go tubeless, kids. I said I'd pay the price, and this is the price. Listen, hear me out. Hear me out. We have 25 miles to get to Zion. 25 miles of climbing uphill down a road where every tourist is going to Zion. During twilight, when the sun's going down. If I had not spent 4 hours getting my bike fixed, which was the wrong decision to make, I could be in Zion. But my cassette was falling apart. So I had to lose the 4 hours. A bit of a gloomy day out. It's a little cold, but I guess if you lived here, this would be like a very exciting time when it rains. I don't know. I have no idea how people react to it. Do you like the new shirt color? I don't think it fits, but it was on sale, so. Hurricane living up to its name when it comes to disasters. The T-Mobile Pizza Hut. You might think that's two different businesses, but no, there's one door. It's a T-Mobile Pizza Hut. That's a crazy sign. What do you mean there's an intersection where one way goes to Zion and another way goes to the Grand Canyon? I have no clue what that road is, or like where it goes. Like what part of the Grand Canyon does it go to? It has to be like on the North Rim, right? Because we're north of the Grand Canyon. Utah definitely has the scariest gutters. I know that's an odd thing to comment on, but like I have multiple times been scared of like having a tire go into a gutter or something like that. It was really bad in St. George. Hey yo. That's laundry money right there. There's definitely a story as to why the speed limit sign into Zion specifies miles per hour. Whoa. Now that's anti-American right there. Also, there's a lot of dispersed camping out there. I could have actually camped out here. We're not far from town. But then I would have been rained on this morning, and I wouldn't have had Baja Blast for breakfast. So, you win some, and you lose some. I'm sending a few of you fuckers there. Also, we picked up a bottle license plate. I think there was one on the side of the road I could have picked up, but it was very bent, tore up. But hopefully this helps communicate. The problem is that people are going to assume this means that I'm from California and not that like I started in California. So I thought about getting a Hawaii license plate, but no, this is the one I went with. I think I'll regret it. Because in Washington, people would like vandalize the cars of people with California license plates, so I can only assume horrible things will happen to me. From a distance, that looked like a question mark. Like you see the little dot, and then it kind of didn't look like a 9. It looked like it was missing that part in the middle. And I was about to freak out because I'm not in the mood for random roads. This ain't a fucking randomizer run, man. I'm almost there. That should also say bicycles, because bicycles are prohibited in that tunnel too, but I understand why it doesn't. So, one side of the road is Death Stranding 1, and the other side of the road is Death Stranding 2. We have a very nice, like, gradual descent. It's so gradual that I have to pedal. And then there's a river over there. So, very pretty. Very nice landscape. I am enjoying my day, and right now there's not as much traffic. I wonder if everybody's like having lunch right now or something. I'm bad at this whole like videography thing because I don't record enough B-roll, and I'm like thinking about how I'm gonna try to like cut this together and make it cohesive, and I'm like, well, I can't even really do narration because I'm gonna have like, you know, 10 minutes of B-roll at the end of this. Everything out here has such a cool name. Coal Pits Wash. Yeah, I'm sending you to the coal pits. You gotta get washed for that fucking opinion. That's cool, right? Wow. Just goes on and on. I just finished the climb, so now this is a decent, but yeah, I'm pretty knackered. And we still got like 8 miles to go. I've yet to pass a sign that says that I'm in the park. That's the craziest thing, is that this is not in the park. Like, what? All right. I hear you. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm going so fast. Bike lane's always empty, they said. Well, here we go. Plowing right through the tourism trap shit. Let's get to the park, bitches. Would you believe me if I said the source of this bullshit traffic jam is a goddamn RV park?
You turn left there?
Are you kidding me? Oh my god. These people can't fucking get through traffic because of fucking these RV campers. This is so goddamn stupid. That's so high up. Sorry, that was like I was doing a shocked expression. Actually, I just drank water and there was like water on my face because I have a drinking problem. I suppose I should look up where the campsite is and then figure out what's going on. I don't know, maybe I'll ride up first, do the ride up, and then come back down. Look at this big open area. They could put a parking lot there, or a Walmart.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Yes, thank you.
I know, I don't want it.
You know what about?
I didn't care about me.
Take one for the I don't care about me. I'll take one for
So, that's Canyon Junction, which is my way out of the park. It's the one with the tunnel that I have to hitchhike to get a ride out. But in the interim, we're going that way. To give you a perspective of the scale, I have to crane my neck up to even see the top of it. Well, I will say it's bold to like make a DLC out of this because it's not exactly a lot of space. But it's crazy. I don't know how those sheer cliff faces defy logic. There's a lot of cyclists here too, which is pretty cool. Most of them are on e-bike rentals, obviously, but still good to see people riding. It's like a 2-foot shoulder, 2 or 3 feet, which is fine. It's actually more than I've had on some state highways. But the buses don't pass. They just don't pass. They expect you to get off the road. But that's not always an option. And so if that's like a routine issue that they're having, make the shoulder wider. They have the space to do that. It just doesn't make sense to me that like they have this many cyclists that are coming through here. And I get like it's a narrow canyon. There's not a lot of exactly horizontal real estate space to put in a dedicated bike path, but I feel like 1 more feet of shoulder so the buses can just pass cyclists would be the thing, because that's what's throwing me off. And the buses, they don't have horns. they have like school bells to indicate they're behind you. So I didn't know one was behind me because they're like silent, and it's like a school bell ringing, and then like I guess there's a building somewhere with the alarm. I didn't know that I was like the bus was trying to pass me. It's the dumbest fucking thing. Like, look at these things. They're practically silent. It's like one of the quietest fucking vehicles that I've seen on this trip. And that's a problem. They should be louder so that they're behind you. Not a national park experience without some questionable decisions. What the worst part is, I think like car dependency is literally at the heart of the bad decision making with the buses here, because look at this road. This road was very obviously paved with the idea of like car tourists being the intended audience going down it. And then like in the last 20 years, they've kind of modernized it to make it a first world country experience. But the road is still designed for like that third world or car-centric mentality. I don't know. Like, look at this. It's not exactly a lot of pavement that you need to improve this experience. Road closed, and then there's a picture of a bicycle. What does this communicate? Is the road closed to cars and bicycles are allowed, or is the road closed to bicycles? What is this sign communicate? Oh my god. What are we doing? Fix this shit, Obama. What is open in this park? Hello, sir. Does that even count as like wildlife? He seems pretty domesticated to me. We're at the Temple of Sinawava, or whatever it's called. And this is the end of the line for the road. So now I just have to trust that none of the folks that came up here would steal anything from me. Well, that explains it. Good reminder of why I hate hiking. Found a little like quiet section though, and like off that trail. It was beautiful though. Just the observation of the millions of years of geologic effort that this river has gone to carve out a place like this. Really is wondrous. It's a bit overshadowed by my paranoia that all my stuff is being stolen and that I'll be stranded in Zion. There are worse places to be stranded, I'm sure. I'm sure I could get out just fine, but I don't get the monkey's paw stuff with this thing where it's like every step of it has to have some annoyance to it. Like the best part was that cycle trail after the fee area. That was the only part that, well, no, it was like bumpy and like the heat had damaged it where it was kind of annoying, but still, that was like the best part. It was quiet, you know, I was just riding my bike. It was very enjoyable. And then the ride up here was awful. This is tinged with paranoia about my stuff. Otherwise, you know, it'd be pretty cool. I guess worth the effort. All right, back on the trail. I don't know if I'm gonna actually go on the Narrows, but I am going to at least see them. Into the line. Again, I don't want to have wet socks in Bryce Canyon, so and I don't know if barefoot's the play. So it's starting to rain just slightly here. I had the foresight to put my rain jacket over my bag so my life won't be ruined, but I guess it's novel. It's what I asked for. But also part of me is wishing that it doesn't actually start raining. Right now it's just like kind of a light sprinkle. I don't know, we'll see what happens. There's a couple hundred people in line for the buses. All right, back at the bike. Looks like I wasn't burgled. I put the bag in the dry bag just in case. Downpours on the way down. I don't think it's supposed to like rain like crazy, but yeah. All right, let's go find a campsite. I like the park. It's very beautiful. I enjoyed the walk to the Narrows, even if I didn't get to do it. I am happy that I came up here, because the alternative was like, you know, I just hitch a ride as soon as possible and go through the tunnel and all that. But I'm glad I'm here. There's a lot of like international tourists. I've heard many languages from all continents. Well, not really any Africans, but I digress. Point is, Zion is a place that clearly a lot of people are coming to see. And obviously that creates issues, you know, tension points with like the service that is provided here. But for the most part, I think they are doing fine with handling the problems that having this number of tourists would naturally cause a park. It's just a little frustrating that there's such an infrastructure issue when they have like a place called Bike Square, and they know that bike rentals are like the big thing, that people like to ride their bikes here. So why we have this bus system where cyclists are supposed to pull over and yield to buses is just baffling. It's literally like 6 feet wide of asphalt for, you know, 2 directions, so 3 feet for each direction, and it would be fine. Just commit to making that change. You'll improve this experience drastically. Kind of embarrassing, honestly, that this is the way it's being done, because it's a damper on the whole experience. So I'm gonna go down to the big tourist area. I'm gonna check out I think it's like a dedicated campground. It's not just an RV campground, but like an actual, like, you know, pitch a tent and sleep campground. So I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna see how many dozens of dollars they want for that service. I'm gonna have to pay the price, because where else am I gonna stay, right? Let's talk a bit about the New Vegas interpretation of it. I haven't really done a section like that because I've never really been moved to do that. You know, I've kind of been focusing on the trip, so I'm having a moment to just kind of chat about it. There's absolutely no way that Obsidian could do this place justice. It's insane. Genuinely insane. Part of the issue with New Vegas is that it crunches the size of the world down, and that includes the verticality of it. Whereas I feel like to capture the spirit of Zion, you really got to capture the just intense vertical elevation difference that this place it has. They took a lot of creative liberty with widening the distance between the cliffs as well, because I can understand the challenge of making gameplay when like you have so little space to put combat encounters or places to explore or what have you. This is like one of the times where I understand why a place doesn't really capture the true vibes of it, just because it would be so difficult. I don't think there's a game development studio that could capture Zion accurately. It's a place that I don't have a camera that's good enough to capture this place. I don't know if there is a camera that's good enough to really capture this place other than your eyes and you know, coming here and seeing it for yourself. This is one of the few like parks I've been to. Like, I don't think Death Valley lived up to the hype, but Zion has definitely lived up to the hype. It's dawning on me that I've done it. I did the New Vegas part. This is the first leg of the trip done. The second leg is the journey to Pittsburgh, basically. Yeah, there's not a lot of Fallout stuff between here and Pittsburgh, and that's a crazy distance. So that sound you just heard was an e-bike passing, right? Pretty innocuous. But the thing is, the e-bikes passing makes literally the same sound as one of those buses behind me. So like every time someone goes to pass me on an e-bike, which is basically everybody because nobody's riding an actual bicycle, which is fine, I have to check and make sure it's not one of the buses. It's crazy that the spindly little motor on an e-bike makes as much noise as those buses. And usually I can't even hear like the cassette clicking or anything like that. That would be a good tell that it was a bicycle. All I can hear is just the little whine of the motor. I'm chasing a bus. You can't pass it. So every time it stops, I have to wait. But I'm just like kind of having to hang out behind it. I'm cursed by these things. We're going 24 miles an hour. Hopefully there's no cyclist in front of it because that will slow us down even more. This is a unique situation. I gotta hand it to the National Park Service. This is not a traditional like experience that one can pay for. I used to do this on my e-bike. I'd ride home from work with no hands, but the fact that I'm doing it on an 80-pound bike because I'm waiting for a fucking bus is insane. Also, it's slowing down, so I have to slow down. That's like the worst part. But this is fun. This is a unique experience. They should do this at Disneyland. I stayed at the campground near the intersection where I'd leave the park in the morning. I didn't record a sign-off video as the camp was full of middle schoolers and I didn't want to bother the adult couple I was sharing the space with. I was having very mixed feelings due to my annoyance that day, and what was going on with the weather east of the park did not leave me optimistic. On the plus side, this was the only time in the entire trip where I got to camp next to a campfire. Morning. I realized that I woke up, I went to bed when it was like dead silent, and when I woke up I could hear the sound of cars driving. So not really that different than if I had like just slept off a highway. It's just disappointing. Today's not good though. So it's raining and cold where I'm going, and we have to do that hitchhiking thing. So I'm thinking, given the fact that it is raining and the low is below freezing, that it would be, well, it's appropriate to get a hotel room obviously, but I also think it would be appropriate to get a ride as far as I can. I have a room reserved in a place called Hatch, which is 60 miles from here. So minus the 10 miles, that's a 50-mile day in 40-degree weather in the rain. Someone wanted us to get out of the desert. It wasn't me. I liked being in the desert, but now we got to be in the mountains, and that poses a new challenge. So I got the sweater on. I'm gonna get changed. I'm gonna put the thermal legger on for the legs and the long socks, even though if they get wet it'll suck, but I don't have any other choice in the matter. My orange main drinking bottle, the one that sits on the handlebars, has a crack in the bottom of it. We're going to put this Gorilla Tape on it, but I don't know if that'll fully fix it. I don't know if that'll make the water taste like Gorilla Tape. Not today, friendo. Hope I look presentable enough because I'm going to be relying on complete strangers. And FYI, I have to do this. It's not an option. The National Park Service literally says you have to do this. All right, I relocated past the staggering number of tourist parking spots. I don't get it. Why would you park up here? I assume they're going like into the canyon, so they walk all the way to the canyon. Just rent a bike, guys, or take the shuttle. It's not that scary. Anyways, time to beg for help. I've been trying to get a ride for 5 minutes, and this is already my least favorite part of the trip. I feel like a second-class citizen. This is the time when I need the St. Jude's like charity jersey. I need a sign that says, "I am riding for St. Jude's. Please give me a ride through the tunnel." All right, more cars are coming. I wonder if I'd have more success if I had the helmet on. I wonder if there's an air of like, because like part of it is just they're like, okay, one level of it I can't fit. I can see inside some of these people's vehicles. They've got passengers and camping gear. They can't take me. I get that. But I wonder if some of it is just like I give homeless person vibes. I probably do. I'm not like misshaven or anything. Like I'm not like horribly like homeless looking. But I wonder if the helmet would help my odds, or like does that raise the odds or lower the odds? Because on the one hand, it might make people think that I have more money than the average homeless person. But on the other hand, people might hate cyclists to such a fervent degree that it actually lowers the odds that like a stranger would want to help me. But on the flip side, if all these people are leaving Zion, a place where there's tons and tons of bike rentals, I wonder if like maybe it could be a boon, because maybe they rented a bike and would be willing to help out. I think it's worth a try. I'm gonna get the helmet when the traffic clears up. All right, let's get the helmet on. I've decided to start counting. I figured that like 50 cars have passed so far, right? I think that's a fair estimate. So we're at 51. I'm gonna count how many passed. I don't know. At what threshold do I go back down and like try to? I don't know what to do in this situation. What do you do? Do I go to like a bar and like just ask people for help? You know, because that's the thing, is like everybody's into the trip, but at the same time I am like a stinky, unwashed stranger. I'm not that stinky. I had a shower yesterday and my clothes are clean, so. But they don't know that, you know, they're in their bubble. So one, there has to be a person leaving this way, and then two, the person who's leaving this way has to have a vehicle that can carry me, and then three, the person who happens to be leaving this way happens to have the right vehicle for the job, also has to have the temperament to decide to help me. Look, we've got a truck coming. The trucks are the funniest ones. Always the funniest ones. I understand when like someone's tiny little Hyundai can't take me, but these trucks are funny. And he's got an open bed. Now this guy I gotta give a pass to, right? I'm still gonna do the thumb and count him, but like this guy's understandable.
What are you doing?
I gotta go through the tunnel. Surprisingly, that vehicle was actually the first one to ask, but they weren't going to the tunnel, which I wasn't aware there were other places on this route. So now we have another modifier to the formula, which is apparently, are they also going to go to the same destination as me? Oh, this is fun. All right, we've made it to 100 cars passed so far. I don't know what I should do. I'm thinking that like at some milestone threshold, we either go up and like, I don't know, wait at the base of the entrance to the tunnel, or we go down to where there's signal and see if we can find out some more information. 101. I'm defeated. After an hour of waiting, you know, I was just thinking through it. I was getting increasingly negative, and guys, I think the trip is over. No, I'm just kidding. I just realized the music's playing in the background, so I'll try to be quick. Even if I had gone through, I think it would have been the wrong decision. So I'm gonna think it through, and then when I'm somewhere where there's not copyright music, I will give you an update on what's happening. I've come to the bathroom to tell you, I've decided to do an alternate route. I came up with it during lunch, so you know that it's ironclad. The first step is going to be going back to Hurricane. Remember that intersection I pointed out where one direction goes to Zion and the other direction goes to Grand Canyon? Yeah, it turns out fate, I guess, pointed that out to me for a reason. Well, we skipped Arizona the first time, so I guess it desperately wanted me to go back and actually do it, so. The route I've picked out is going to be a lot more desert miles, which I'm fine with. It's the right time of year for desert miles. It's the wrong time of year for mountains. Well, let's take advantage of that. Well, I ate before I made that decision, which is a good thing, but yeah. So now we just have to go back to Hurricane. Bad news is I'm at $70 for a hotel because I thought I was going into the mountains and everything was booked, and I was like, well, I should reserve something before. This is why I don't reserve hotels. is why I don't reserve hotels. The only reason I did it was because I couldn't. This should have been my sign. The fact that if I wasn't able to get a hotel, I would have froze to death was probably the sign, the sign I needed to know that I was going the wrong way. Well, if the headwind is anything to go by, it wants me to stick to my original route. All right, we've made it back to near enough hurricane, and I rolled up here. There turns out there's a gun club there, which I didn't see the first time, but. The funny thing is that, like, as soon as I was like rolling up, there was like a 4-round burst of automatic gunfire. So I think someone over there has something they're not supposed to. Why does it randomly end? I'm gonna go over the loose plan that I made in that subway and make sure that there's not some glaring issues like, hey, this stretch of like 200 miles with no water and death claw packs all throughout it. It feels like the only parts that are smooth are the parts that are Fallout related, which is unfortunate because the next actually Fallout related thing that we're visiting is Pittsburgh, which is in Pennsylvania. So I really hope that like this streak of poor luck or poor planning or poor skill or poor athleticism, I hope that this streak doesn't continue for like the next however long it takes. Quite the climb. What's worse is I have to push up it because if I exert too much energy, I'll start to sweat and make the whole cold situation worse. So I'm like threading the needle of thermal regulation. This is more shoulder than I've had so far. I've had about 2 feet the entire time. It was quite unpleasant. And we've got more climbing to do, but it's a lot more gradual. At least I'm not having those problems. This is why I bought a license plate. Every like roadside license plate you find is going to be tore up, and I don't feel like hammering it back into shape, so it's just simpler to buy one, even if it doesn't like make sense to. This little roadside pull-off is cool. Oh, there's dead animals down there though. That's less cool, but well, the bones of dead animals anyways. I made it to the top of the hill and the scenery is definitely getting more alpine. This is the road ahead of me. Some of this road sucks, so like you can probably barely see it, but there is a rumble strip, and sometimes there's like maybe 5 inches of asphalt. I'm hoping I stay in the sun to warm up. This is not the ideal situation, but at least I am finally able to like ride my bicycle. That's fun. I don't know if you can see it, but there's very, very, very tiny like half hail, half snow falling. Hopefully I'm next to like Apple Valley and that has a place I can stop for like, I don't know, 2 hours. Well, this is fun. It's getting snowed on, but I'm in shorts, so like it's warm enough down here that I'm not freezing my ass off, but it's cold enough up there for it to kind of accumulate into snow. A very unique weather experience. I gotta keep moving though. I have to push my bike up this hill. Not because I can't ride up it, but because when I ride up it, the traffic passes like way too close. All right, so bike rack, shelter, picnic tables, shelter, but no soliciting, no parking, and no camping. Why? I understand wanting to stop people who are driving by from like parking here and like staying for free and mooching off of these people, but like at the same time, who cares if someone camps here, you know? They got the space, they got shelters. What's the point of the bike racks? What's going on here? It's one of many things that confuses me about America. Also, around that bend there, a white truck pulled over and like made sure that I was fine. So that was cool. And I think he was from here. So I will say that like there are generous people in this part of the world. But I'm on the fence about whether coming this way was the right way. This is definitely not like a good touring route based on the lack of shoulder, but at the same time, this place is beautiful. Surprise flatlands, tailwinds, beauty, sun. It's going great. This is good. I can't believe this place was $100. Actually, I can, because it's almost assuredly a converted nursing home. Someone has died in this bed. So I crashed in Colorado City, so it wasn't the biggest day mileage-wise, but the problem is that like there's nothing for like 25 miles, and so it would have been 25 miles in the cold, etc., etc. You've heard me complain about this enough, but those complaints are hopefully coming to an end. The weather is clearing out. The days will be warmer, like 70 degrees. The nights will be cold, but the days will be warmer. So this is a pretty funny thing that you can't make up. There's the Arizona state line. There's Arizona, and there's Utah. They drew an arbitrary line in the sand, and it just so happens that like all the beautiful stuff went to the Mormon state, and like all the drab scenery went there. Not that it's drab scenery, I like all of it, but also I got cheese. I'm gonna eat it. This cheese is fat. I want sustained energy. As long as my like skin is in the sun, then I'm actually hot, and like the jacket is able to make me sweat. Meanwhile, my legs are freezing. I hate this thermoregulation stuff. I gotta say, Arizona's surprising me with the shoulder to ride on. I was not expecting Arizona to be better than Utah in that respect. That would be cool to visit. They look cool. 16 miles, you know, it's doable, but it's too damn cold. I'm trying to make sense of what I'm seeing over there, and hoping the answer isn't that it's covered in snow, because it's like the same elevation as where I'm at. I don't know if those are white cliffs. So we made it to the reservation. Why would you specify 5.0 miles? If it's 0.0, it doesn't matter. It just looks like from a distance it says it's 50 miles in that direction. We're getting closer to the white things, and I'm pretty sure it's snow. This is like the only structure for a long ways. We're most of the way to Fredonia though. I think getting the Kanab is probably pretty realistic for today. I could probably go further than Kanab, but we're kind of limited by the distances between places and the temperature it is at night. One of the benefits I'm looking forward to in Kansas is that you can kind of just go as far, and you like, well, I mean, you still have to stop somewhere, but if you're like, fuck it, I can go 10 more miles, you know, you probably can, and have a realistic chance of being somewhere you can stop. Whereas out here, I'm kind of like I'm a frog that's hopping between different ponds. But as long as I stay in the sun and I stay moving, the temperature's manageable. I think we're probably about 55 degrees now, which is great. It's perfectly rideable, but the wind chill does suck, and all of the niceness goes away when the sun goes down. I am actually feeling like emotionally better today though. I've been kind of beat down the last couple days over the whole Zion thing and not being able to go the way I wanted, but I didn't quit, and I found a new route, and you know what? That's probably what the Brotherhood of Steel would have done in this situation anyways. So it's not like I failed the mission or anything. Oh, rumble strips. I don't get it with Subway out here. They love advertising their franchises. This one's 93 miles away from here. Even by car, that's quite a distance. Nice little sticker bombed sign. Also, Arizona's shoulder. Utah's shoulder. Fuck me, guys. Utah is great in a lot of ways, but the road shoulders are terrible. Like, actually borderline unrideable. I can see why there's more videos of people touring in Arizona than there are in Utah. But if people do stuff in Utah, it's usually like really off-road routes, not really like bike touring, unless it's like the one route through it, which is like the Western Express. Why is he fucking looking at me like he knows something? I own my quilt, but it's a 20 degree instead of a 40 degree. So like, in theory, if I had that quilt right now, I could camp. But the reason I don't have that quilt is that it's twice the volume of the current one. Like, okay, my 40 degree quilt is in here and like the dry bag can barely close, right? So it packed down and tight is like 6 liters. Packed down and tight, the other quilt is 12.5 liters. So there's a stuff sack that I keep my laundry in, and it's like 12 liters. The reason I have that wasn't for the laundry. The actual reason I own that thing was because I was gonna carry the quilt in the backpack. But I decided to get a quilt for warmer temperatures that would be less volume. Because like, I didn't think that I would need it. And I shouldn't need it. It's like a ridiculously warm quilt for what I'm doing, but this is the situation where it would be useful to have that quilt. I still think it was a pretty good day, all things considered. Considering that I'm literally like, I'm off route. I'm going by the skin of my teeth. I'm looking at the map and seeing what towns are within cycling distance and going to them. The next town is like 25, 30 something miles away. So not viable. We could go north. The interesting thing is if we go north, we would end up in Orderville, which is the town that we were supposed to go to after Zion. So we could actually get back on route if we go north, but there's still the issue of being in those like areas that are like 8,000 feet above sea level. Whereas the route I'm doing now is a lot lower lands, and that means better temperatures. And I think that's what I want to go with. I think that I didn't come out here to do mountains. I came out here to do Fallout, and I'm on an adventure. And unfortunately, that means that I'm at a higher probability of setbacks. I didn't realize that I was kind of like a complainer. I think I'm a complainer. It's either that or the people who make bikepacking videos aren't. What does he know? What does he know? All right, on the road. It's not too cold. We gotta go 57 miles to get to the next bit of civilization. So, grind, grind, grind. The geography is beautiful here though. It's this same like kind of red cliff, red hill format, but now there's a bit more greenery. I was hoping for a place to use the restroom, but this doesn't seem to be open. I do like these places that are like no public restrooms. Restrooms for customer use only. There's a story behind that sign. Greenery, ranchland, farms, forests. It's definitely feeling a lot less like the desert. Oh dear. Keep right, except to pass. No passing zone. I'm getting mixed signals here. It's getting to the part of the day where thermoregulation is becoming annoying because it's warm enough to make me sweat, but the wind is still cold enough to make me want to wear a jacket. So like I just hate being in this like perpetual in-between state. We weren't supposed to climb this much. This is like almost the highest point of the trip so far. I think the highest point was like just shy of 6,000 feet. Landscape, trees. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. 21 miles, so that means that we have 36 to go. Got quite a bit of downhill to go. When people say what comes up must come down, this is what they're talking about. Not the downhills I've been putting up with. This is a real downhill. Halfway. This shoulder's pretty nice too. That's a real shoulder. And since it's new asphalt, it rides so smooth. It's like riding on butter. I don't want it to end, but it probably will at some point, but. I can't tell with the red and white what's going on there. If there's the ridge line in front of the white ridge line, or if it's like part of the same formation. But this is crazy. I'm so glad I came this way. This is great. I'm always trying to guess where the road is going to go, and this wasn't it. This is not what I was expecting. I didn't realize this is that red ridge line. I didn't realize it was going to be that big. Like, it's huge. But I also didn't realize that, like, this bluff, it's a bluff that's north of like Grand Canyon North. It's a pretty big formation, but apparently I'm guessing that it's like subducting beneath this ridge line, and it's forming this valley. I was not expecting that the route was going to go through this, and so like this is incredible. I love riding through this valley. The road surface is kind of meh, but no, this is a good time. We're also on track to see some incredible scenery first. This is great. There's no cyclist that would have probably ever recommended you ride this route, but like I couldn't ask for anything more out of a stretch of land. I was wondering where this was going to go because I was seeing that road in the distance, but I could tell from the distance because the cars on it are kicking up dust clouds. I could tell it was a dirt road. So it looks like for once we've actually carved through the mountain on a state highway just to get through this. Thank God. If I stopped to document all the beauty I saw, I'd never get this trip done. There's like an insane gorge here, and there was like a truck that was like right over the guardrail. That person had a bad day. Didn't think I'd get to see something like that. There's a lot of sediment in the water. It was not raining. Maybe it rained here more recently, or maybe it's just taken this long for it to get down here. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just a perpetual river. But then why the sediment swell? Unless there's like maybe some kind of construction upriver, but I could wash myself in the muddy river. I could get water in the muddy river. I don't even think I would want to put my, try to filter that. It's a very different climate up here. I felt like if I didn't record, people might be confused if I record later and it just looks like drastically different, but like we're like a mile from the last place my last couple miles, it's a headwind, but look at that, it's very pretty. Very chiseled earth. Lone Rock. It's a big rock. There's a road to go see it if I wanted to. It's at the bottom of that hill. I just cycled up that hill too. And it's not the end, there's another hill. So the flags seem to indicate that we've got a crosswind. Hopefully there's no more headwinds. I'm stuck to getting the page and just find my headwinds. I'm definitely feeling fatigued. I've I metered out my energy levels to get to big water, and deciding to go to Page. Now I don't have like the whole time of gas left to power through it, but hey, look, civilization. It's just a little hard to enjoy a downhill when I know that between me and having dinner is a massive climb. So it is a scary bridge, but there's kind of a questionable decision here, which is, why is there signs where... I don't know if I can get through this. Like, I can get through this, but yeah, my bike can't fit through that. I don't know. You could put those signs anywhere. I don't know why you put them there. Yeah, this is the, I think, Glen Canyon Dam or something. And you can see the main reservoir over there. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just trying to get to Page. I don't really care about this. I saw the Hoover Dam. All right, big day. We did 73 miles and 2,500 feet of ascent. Sorry, this is the biggest mileage day of the trip so far. I need to, plan out, plot ahead. I'm not regretting this route change just because it's still beautiful, but the flatness of it means that I'm getting more done horizontally, which is good. I needed a nice big day. I'm pretty tired though, so the usual on a rest day, pizza. Just gonna carb load. 98 miles, 5,000 feet of climbing. It is 8 a.m. There's no place to stay, but there is a place to stop and like buy stuff. But one of the things I was reading about the Navajo Nation is businesses tend to close early. So who knows, maybe that place will be closed by the time I arrive. And yesterday I got stickers. Got stickers on the license plate. Because I was thinking like it'd be cool to have stickers of like the places I'd go. So the main thing I need now is like Death Valley and Nevada. That would tie the whole ensemble together. I think that I could go for longer now. Like my physical and emotional endurance is up. I don't know, that sounds like overconfidence to me. That sounds like I'm being set up to like for me to be like biblically emotionally beat down and humbled. So I'm trying not to lean into that feeling too much. But yeah, I need to start drinking this chocolate milk because I got to get through a half gallon. Chocolate milk is like 200 calories a serving, and there's 8 servings in a half gallon. So you can get like 1,600 calories out of your day by drinking chocolate milk. Life hack, I guess. Oh, it's so sweet. I wish it hadn't been pointed out to me how overly sweet chocolate milk is. That is an insane inconvenience to be just out in the middle of nowhere if you were a settler. This is what I'm talking about. This one's not too bad because the road surface at least is nicer. Like it's newer. That one road surface I was riding on, that had to be paved before the Civil Rights Act. Yeah, this is definitely a veritable desert landscape. Any pretense that we were leaving the desert when we were seeing trees and stuff, it didn't happen. I mean, it's pretty, but this is a veritable wasteland. Let's see, it's 32 miles to Kaibenta, or whatever that town is. And they allegedly have a grocery store. So, I mean, I got 4.5 liters of water. I got candy. I got food. It's just, nice to know these things. Hello, friends. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't know if they're wild or not. Which, again, how are they wild? They would be feral if they like escaped domestic horses. But anyways, They seem brave enough that I think they're domestic. And they just graze out here, but very pretty. Very cool horses. Made for a great picture, so I pulled out the mirrorless to get a picture of them. But yeah, they've been eyeing me for the last like 3 minutes now. I wonder what they think. Also, this is a 3-mile climb. That's not 3 miles, that's like the next, I don't know, 1/10 of a mile. But we're gonna reach the top of that hill, and there's gonna be more somehow. I don't know what this Antelope Canyon place is, but it seems to be quite the tourist destination, as this is the 4th place that I've passed that does tours, and they're all the same. It's a dirt parking lot with like vans and buses, and you just park there and get a ride in a van to Antelope Canyon and get a tour. I don't know what, it must be like really beautiful, because I don't know why we need 4 of that business. And I love my Garmin. It's like climb starting 3 feet, and it's like, what do you think the last 1/4 mile has been? You think I haven't been climbing? It was flat for like a minute, a literal minute, like 60 seconds minute, not the figurative minute, but it was flat for a very small amount of time, and then we're climbing again. So I think that big mountain that I've been seeing for a long time is called Navajo Mountain, and it's in Utah, which still not beating the allegations. Utah is the beautiful one, and then Arizona is just kind of like a wasteland. You can see that in the spiritual core of the people. I was rejected from a place to stay, but it's the spiritual hellscape of Arizona that caused them to say no. As you can tell, I'm reaching that part of the day where I start to ramble and grumble and bitch. I bitch a lot. There was a woman who pulled over, asked if I wanted to ride. I said sure, but I asked where she was going. She said Albuquerque. And only now, well, only as of 10 minutes ago did the thought occur to me, wait a second, she's going to that goddamn town I'm trying to get to, Caibento. She may not be going to Cayenta, but she's going to Caibeto, which is where I am going. Oh my God. I don't know, why do people do this? Where are you going in such a hurry? Oh my God, it's the worst. People passing when there's a cyclist in like the oncoming lane. Oh, what a nightmare. This is more like just gradual climbs throughout the day, which makes it more manageable. There was a psychological impact to enduring 10+ miles of 9% grades. This is just more like, it's a welcome refresher. Even if I do sound exhausted. All right, we've crested the hill and there's more hill. How is this possible? The town I'm going to is at 6,000 feet. And we're at 5,400 now. I wish that I could, if I could, I would just climb to 6,000 feet and then go flat, but I don't think that's an option here. You made it to the top of the hill. Your reward? Another hill. What goes down must come up. It's been 3 hours. We've made it 15 miles. At this rate, it's going to take me 20 hours to complete this. I really hope there's a part where I can make up time or something, because it's going to be tough. Dirt road in the middle of nowhere, just off the highway. There's no trespassing signs, so I came out here to take a look. I never saw a sign saying that I entered the Navajo Nation, but the road sign for this was like an arrowhead. So I wonder if I wonder if this is like one of their roads. Well, either way, I mean, it's so barren. There's so little out here. You could get away with stealth camping out here if you wanted to, but obviously I'm a big rule follower. I'm not going to record myself breaking the rules. And we're far from needing a campsite, but we are like, oh my God, we're 1/5 of the mileage done. I'm going to be at this forever. Yeah, it's going to be forever. If this was a little friendlier, I think this would actually be a pretty popular bike route. I mean, look at this road. You know, this would be an awesome gravel route, but I can't figure out if I think that's a good thing or a bad thing. There's part of me that wants to be positive and be like, yeah, we got 1/5 of it done. And then there's another part of me that's like, oh no, it's going to take us a really long time to get it done. Landscape's changing again. 24 miles, 1/4 of the mileage, 2,000 feet, 40% of the elevation climb. Unless we get a ride at some point, this is going to take 16 hours. Probably longer because I'm, you know, going to slow down as we go. I'm trying, the problem too is that like I'm trying to grind as much as I can while I have the energy. All right, let's keep going. Well, at least it's pretty. That'll help me get through the day. And there's a downhill. And I can't see the part where I gotta pay that downhill back. Which is a nice relief. Even if it would be nice to just climb the next 300 feet and stay alive the rest of the day, but you win some, you lose some. You can tell I'm getting tired because my recordings are starting to really suck. I'm at the point in the day when I'm starting to question why I turned that ride down. The woman had a bike rack on the back of her van and was going to Albuquerque, and she had a spare passenger seat, no passengers. It was a perfect ride opportunity. And I turned her down because she's going to Albuquerque. And I'm like, well, I'm going east, you're going south. We're not really going the same way. But that was fucking stupid because she was on this road for 60 miles. If I had taken the ride to Junction US 160, like if I had even just taken the ride to like Kaibito, like it was so dumb of me to say no. But at the same time, like, I don't want to take a ride. I do earnestly want to make it across the country by bike, taking as few rides as possible. The weather's great, it's just, you know, I have to go 100 miles and 5,000 feet. Should have said yes, don't know what I was thinking. Because there's no guarantee there will be any more offers. It is likely, like, there might be people who, if I'm riding after dark, there might be somebody, but man, I should have said yes. I should have said yes. Fuck my honor, right? Now I'm, you know, literally paying the price for it. That offer was like 2 hours ago too. Just think, I could have been at Junction US 160 like an hour ago probably. And instead, I'm 35 miles away from it. And I've done 32 for the day, meaning that I need to double what I've done so far just to not be where I'm going. Officially the highest point of the trip so far. I would be excited if I didn't see we're gonna have to climb back up to here in just a little bit, and I think it goes higher over there. It would be better if the end was anywhere in sight. It'd be motivating, but
My thoughts are preoccupied by the notion that the road is just going to pick the worst of these hills and go straight over it, you know? It's hard to feel like I've reached any kind of spiritual plateau. It just never ends. It never ends. So I'm here in Kaibiro, or however it's pronounced. I didn't get to ask anybody. I've got a secret weapon in here, an energy drink. I haven't had one of those since I was a teenager, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I must power on. 6-ish hours, depending on what time zone I'm in, to go until the light goes down. And we've done 6 hours so far. We've done 37 miles, which means that we'll be at 74 probably when the sun goes down, if I can keep it up. I don't know, maybe I can go faster, but I think that's hope against hope. I will just endeavor to do my best. Well, the monster was haphazardly affixed to the handlebars. It fell off. It got a gash in it, and since it's pressurized, you know, it's goes squirting out. So I have to open it and drink it, and maybe the worst fucking thing I've ever tasted, but I didn't want to drink it so soon, but that's what fate has dictated anyways. And we're on a 2.16 mile climb, because we're a little bit into it, with 362 feet of elevation. So just a nice little low and slow climb. I'm trying not to take it too harshly, but this is a harsh situation. It's hard not to. I don't know if you can see it, but my water is a little murky. I think I'm gonna put this on the fork and try to live off of the smart water because it's all bottled, but I gotta clean these out next opportunity I get, which is bad news. This is like half my water supply that seems to be a little suspect. Definitely ill fortune. Also, I dropped my earbud in the sand. I cleaned it off best I could, but now there's also going to be sand in my ear. Those SUVs up there, they had a tumbleweed just roll out in front of them, and they had to like stop and drive around it, because I mean it came out like very suddenly. Thing's like a animal. I can't believe this is we're 1,000 miles in and I'm finally seeing some stereotypical desert stuff like tumbleweeds. I saw a roadrunner at the start of the day. I didn't think to comment on it. This thing's massive. I knew they were big, but wow. It's thorny too. Here, this part's less thorny. Let me get it out of the road. There we go. Blow on, friend. Now let me just pick the thorns out of me. It didn't get me too bad, but 22 miles. We'll still not be there. Also, there's lots of horses here. These horses ran over to see me. Hello. Hello, friends. I've never seen horses do that. They must literally never see cyclists, is what I have to guess, because in a horse's mind, cyclists have got to be weird, but once you see them a few times, you know it's whatever. I wonder if they think that I'm like a horse or something. These rock formations are cool. I've been seeing them this entire time. I didn't know the road was going to get this close to them. Even though I don't think there's actually a way that you can like go up to them, which is interesting. We're at 48, almost 49 miles. We've done 3,500 feet of ascent, which means there's 1,500 more feet of ascent to go. So that there's got to be like flat stuff, right? Like we're 50% of the way through the mileage, but 70% of the way through the elevation. So that implies there's got to be like flat stuff, because there's not enough horizontal miles for the hills to continue as much as they have. It's got to show mercy at some point. If it was after dark though, it would be funny to like stash the bike and sleep behind this thing, but it's not. We've been climbing. We're almost to 6,600 feet. I have to hope against hope that this is the top for at least a little while. It cannot be that on the other side of that pass right there is another climb. It can't be. It's not physically possible. We're almost at 8 hours, by the way. I'm hoping the fact that such an unusual altitude is getting noted is a sign that this is the peak. This has to be the peak. But like, it goes down a little bit and then it just goes back up after. Like fucking, it never ends. You know, it was novel 2 days ago. There's 1,100 feet left. But it's actually like 5.3 thousand feet that we have to climb, but you know, so there's 1,400 feet of elevation left. And we've still got like half of the trip to go. It's gotta be flat at some point. It can't just be 1,400 feet. It can't be 50 miles of like 50-foot tall hills. I refuse to accept that is the rest of my day and my evening and past my bedtime. I can't accept that is gonna be just endless 50-foot tall hills. So there can only be 28 more of these types of hills if they're like 50 feet each. Like there can't be more than 28 climbs, but it seems like it's never going to end. It seems like I've got to do like a climb every mile. Like there's not 1 mile that I've done that didn't come with the asterisk that I had to climb to do it. Like this is actually absurd. I know that like at the start of the day, I knew that I was going to climb today more than I think any other day. We're going down. But remember, kids, what goes down must come up. I swapped out the water, that murky stuff, got rid of it. There will be residue of it still in there. It's not properly washed out, but thankfully that means I won't have to like drink poop water before I get to Kayenta. And I've got these sandwich crackers. I got the peanut butter ones and I got the cheddar cheese ones. So that's dinner. I took it for granted. I should have had real food in Page. Like real, like sit down restaurant food. I think that would have been a good play, because I'm actually getting sick of like candy and sugar water, and it's like literally repulsive to me now. But like, that's all there is out here. So we made it to the junction of 98 and 160. We've got 30 miles to go, and well, the sun ain't looking too hot. There's a hotel over there, but the issue is not that I don't have a reservation. The issue is that it's under construction. From like 5 miles away, could tell that was a hotel, because that like only hotels have that kind of like architectural design. And I was like, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of like office building or resident thing. No, the monkey's paw hit. It is a hotel. It just can't stay the night there because it's not open. But then it gets more interesting. There's this spot I'm standing next to. It's got a picture of 2 people hiking. There's a sign over there that says stay on trail. I guess there's some type of like hiking trail alongside this railroad. but there's a couple signs you can see in that like little shelter thing, but it's just like generic platitudes about how like going outside is like the cure to fucking depression. There's no posted information about like what this is for. Is it just like day use? Not very clear what exactly is going on here, but I don't think it's really open for anything, because I explored it by going over to that railroad and crossing there, because this is barbed wired shut, and like it looks like you could theoretically undo it, but why would I go to all that effort when almost assuredly if I tried to camp here I would get in trouble? It's just dumb. I gotta go 20 more miles to camp, first come first served basis, with the need for a permit, or I can go 30 miles to the hotel that I reserved. 30 miles in the dark. It's already getting kind of chilly. Well, there's a gas station here with an attached marketplace. I have to hope that they have some kind of like real food that I could eat, because if they don't, if I have to power the next 30 miles in the dark on like Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups, this is really gonna suck. I think I'm gonna call my family, because at this point, like, you know, what does it matter if we lose a little light? Like, it's almost over anyways. But yeah, this has been a really hard day. It is officially after dark. I've got my leggings on, rain jacket on. I could put the sweater on and gloves on, and I'm still cold. Hopefully riding warms me up, but man, if I'm already this cold, I can't imagine where we're gonna be in like 2 hours. I bought some chicken strips. They were all right. Gas station chicken strips, obviously, and the pizza was atrocious. Yeah, inedible. And a Coke. Hopefully the Coke helps a little bit, but I don't think there's any stops between here. So yeah, I got the rear light on, and I guess let's hit the road. Enough delaying, enough stalling, just gotta do it. So I'm hiker-biking up this hill because riding, the wind chill is like way too cold, but like if I'm just like walking in it, it's like, you know, I used to walk around town in like colder temperatures, but you know, I'm in the mood to ramble a bit. It's unfortunate. The thing about riding at night is like, obviously you miss out on seeing the terrain, which is like, you know, one of the features of being out here. But like, you know, this part wasn't too bad. I climbed out of the Shanta for a long time. It was such a gradual climb that like the Garmin didn't recognize that it was even like a hill. But we climbed up to like 6,700 feet, and then there was a descent, probably about 5 miles. I think not accepting that ride is probably going to go down as like one of the fucking worst decisions of the trip. Also, I'm walking, I don't know if I said it, I'm walking because it's cold as hell, and I'm giving my extremities a chance to warm up before even with the wind stuff. The shoes, I understand, they're semi-permeable, so the wind will, you know, kind of cut through them. I didn't put on the warm socks. I didn't really think that I'd like, you know, need them. But they're not too bad. The hands are bad though. See, the feet and the legs are held together by the fact that they're carrying this operation. The hands just guide the bike, and they take a lot of the brunt of the wind, so they are disproportionately cold. I'm just hoping against hope that no dogs come up on me. You know, right now, I hate to fend off dogs in the dark. It's bad enough when there's sunlight. We made it. Also, I think I need to shave because I think the shitty facial hair is causing the bad luck. I don't know though. We did a century. We did a century. Most miles, most elevation, fucking most hours. Oh my god, and there's a Taco Bell. I'm about to have a fucking Baja Blast. Well, we're here. 103 miles, 14 hours, 20 minutes, 5,200 feet of ascent. Highlights: new distance PR, 103 miles. New ascent PR, 5,200 feet. At least I can say I did it authentically. Would have been smarter long term to take the ride because I am wasted. Like, yeah, cool, I proved I can do it, I'm hardcore, I'm badass, but like, tomorrow is... who knows what happens tomorrow? I literally don't know. Well, bad news. I've got the start of what will develop into saddle sores if I'm not careful. I cleaned the area, hopefully it heals up, but I'm gonna have to take it easy tomorrow. And if that's not possible, I will have to stay here tomorrow because it would jeopardize the entire trip to push myself hard tomorrow. So it's gotta be an easy-ish day. I'm talking like maybe 30 miles at most. Because saddle sores can end the trip. It's really hard to heal once they start. It hasn't started yet, but it's definitely like the preliminary stages. That's why I carry baby wipes. Wipe the area down, make it clean, try to prevent it from escalating. But yeah. Oh, so that's what this all looks like. That sheepdog's been tracing me along the fence. I don't know if he's gonna like come out and fight me when there's an opening. This area is very pretty, but there is zero shoulder. I have to ride in the lane, and that's just not fun. Yeah, so we're at a downhill stretch. There's not a ton of elevation today, which is one of the reasons I'm doing the miles I am. If today was even as remotely difficult as yesterday, I probably would have ponied up the $300. But today's a little easier, and we're going to go through a place called Monument Valley. And I think these are the monuments, I'm not sure. But there's actually like a little sliver of it that I think is off the reservation because it's full of campgrounds. And for some reason, they don't like people camping here. So we're getting close to Utah, so all the sand's turning red. The sandstone's returning. It is literally a joke. Like, what is it about the Utah state line that just changes everything? I don't know. Also, there's still no shoulders, so taking my life, risking my life to get this foot. New biome unlocked. But yeah, going all right so far. We're 30 miles in, 3.5 hours, so average of 8.3 miles per hour, faster than yesterday. A lot less hills though, but yeah, we're gonna make it there in good time, and I'll be able to rest the rest of the day off so that my ass heals, because my ass is broken. 3/4 of the way across Utah though, which is cool. Just means we'll have to do Colorado soon, and that's wider. But the thing to remember about Colorado is that like 2/3 of the way across, it'll turn into the Great Plains. And so really we're most of the way through the mountains. We've got a bit left to do, but we're almost to the Great Plains. I think by complete coincidence, I've ended up, I noticed that this place was called Forrest Gump Hill. I think this is where he like stops his run. And it's kind of funny because I'm basically the modern Forrest Gump, you know. I'm on the same kind of trip he was on. So like, there's people here taking like selfies and stuff. And like some of them were taking pictures of me, which is a little rude. It's really weird. They stand in the middle of the road and take pictures of themselves. I don't understand the appeal. And then the funny part is that the natives are like trying to sell jewelry to all the tourists. I don't know, it's hard to be cynical. It's fucking stupid. It's the fucking place where a movie happened. Like, wow. You know, there's only like a billion places that look like this in Utah. You could take your picture anywhere. I mean, I don't know. I guess the mesas or whatever back there are pretty, but like, get out of the road and don't take my picture. What a strange thing to place on a sign in a flat area. It's just so odd. People are randomly checking their brakes in the middle of this flat. Okay, the town I'm going to is at like 4,000 feet elevation and we're at 5,200, so we're gonna have to drop some feet if we're gonna get there. And we're like 6 miles away from it too, so we're gonna be dropping feet and fast. Wow, putting it succinctly in 5 words that I said in like, I don't know, 30. Wow, it really does look like that. I believe that's just ignore the cliff. I believe that is a uranium disposal site. Or like, you know, spit material. All right, 38.9 miles per hour is what I saw it top out at. I didn't even realize it got that fast. /per speed zone. Yeah, I'll do my best. Not 10%. Half mile, 10%. Still, though, I might go 40. It's hard not to be scared of like my front wheel coming off or something. I could die. Well, it is true every day, you know. It's just a little more apparent right now in this situation. God, this place is full of canyon areas. Who cares about the Grand Canyon? Okay, I didn't see it, so I can't say that. It must be pretty serious. They're warning twice. I can feel the temperature difference from having gone down 1,000 feet already. Well, I think that's Mexican Hat. crazy for putting houses there. That said, that would be like, that is like aesthetically the coolest place to live, but that's about all they really have going for them. I'm sure it's not a great, it's not good like thriving civilization and stuff. Take me back to the flatlands, please. The party's over. We're in town. We're 21 miles post Utah state border. That was fun though. Got a little scary for a bit, but yeah, I'd rate it pretty well. So, made it. 45.7 miles, 1,300 feet of climbing. So, pretty easy day, considering we yesterday needed a break from that. And you can see I barely have any room in here, but even then I could still fit the bike in here. Well, that feels nice. And there's a steakhouse attached. Breakfast is like back at the bottom of the hill I climbed to get here, so we're not doing a sit down breakfast in this town, I guess. But yeah, I guess I'm getting to have steak tonight. Well, at least it's an option. We're also like right across the street from the gas station, so woo. We're leaving Mexican Hat today. I'm gonna try to take it easy, but we've got a big like mileage to do to get to Blanding. Blanding is when we're back en route though. But I met another traveler, not a bikepacker, road tourist, but she's seeing all the national monuments and national parks and I don't know why I'm flubbing it, but she's an older woman from Switzerland named Anne, who we had a like 20-minute conversation about what we're doing and all that with this guy. The first like actual cyclist that I've met on the road to talk about, compared to, there's a lot of people I've met who were like did it at one time or another, but she's on the route, and from what she described, she's been many more places than I've been, so it was a fun conversation. I spoke with the other tourists some more, and she's been like cycling as long as I've been alive. Probably the GoPro probably can't pick it up, but there's a rock balancing thing. That's what Mexican Hat is named after. But yeah, she told me a lot of stories about national parks she's been to, cities she's been to, other countries that she's been to, people she's met. It was nice to meet another cyclist on the road, even if we're not really going to the same place. Just to know that there's somebody else out here that kind of understands. She camps a lot more than I do, and she said that I'm packed heavy, which is true. I got way too much stuff. She gets a lot done with what she has, but also she doesn't do as many miles as I do, which could be a good or bad thing. But yeah, beautiful and interesting country. We're back to this though. Little anxiety shoulder where if I fall off, I die. So now I gotta put the camera away with one hand. So that's the Mexican Hat Rock. And I love that they called it that. It looks like a sombrero, but either they didn't know what a sombrero is, like that's the name of it, or they didn't want to call it Sombrero Rock. So they called it Mexican Hat Rock. Yeah, it's a Mexican hat. This is a beautiful area, and it doesn't even like have a name. I mean, it has a name, but like, this is not like a destination for some people. That's crazy. The GoPro definitely won't pick it up, but there's a massive dust devil over there. Just on a 2-mile climb. Very gradual. As usual, turned back into Wyoming. Damn though, that thing's big. That's the biggest one yet. I hope it comes up on the camera because, wow, it is blowing. We're getting close to Colorado because Utah mountains, but mountains, mountains. A lot of them snow covered too. So yeah, this is a cool vista. It's like I'm finally leaving Arizona behind and entering a new part of the world. I've been thinking a lot about Anne, the woman I met. She had a lot of interesting insights to share and advice to give. I don't really have any like conclusions on those thoughts, and I'm probably never going to share them, but it's just interesting. And one of the things I was hoping from this trip was to meet more cyclists. So it's a little disappointing it took this long to meet another, and we're not even on like one of the main routes. But hey, it's cool we met someone who actually understands what I'm going through. Why am I saying we? You didn't meet her. I met her. Sorry. I tend to use the royal we because I want you to feel like you're with me on this trip, but you didn't speak to her, obviously, so. I feel like I really need to try to sell the scale of this because this is just a place in Utah, right? This is not like a major destination or anything. This is just a place. This is what there were hundreds of people who were bitching that how inconvenient this was because, you know, but it's like, you know, how big is the hill do you think I'm looking at? Okay, because this is level, right? This is level. I'm not going to do any awkward hand signs, like I'm not going to raise my hand like that or anything. It'd be a little racy, but level. Let's look up. There's the top. Camera's at a 45-degree angle. The top of that cliff is a few hundred feet above me. Like, and they built a road to get up this? And it's only 0.7 miles to the top? Like, horizontal? This is crazy. This is this is an engineering accomplishment. And it's literally just a place. What the fuck is that? I made it over through that like cliff area, and we're just like, it just continues on forever. What I don't like is the towns in this part of the world. Like, we're supposedly like 3 or 4 miles from a town, and it's kind of depressing that like you don't see it coming. Like, every town seems to be like hidden in a valley or just around the corner. Like, I want to like, I do kind of want to see a town coming for like the next 3 miles because it builds excitement for me. Whereas like, yeah, there's going to be a downhill, and then there's going to be an uphill after that, and then maybe there's a town on the other side of that ridge. All right, we're in Bluff, going to Blanding, which is 26 miles from here. 26 miles and 2,500 feet of climbing. So, not the best when you're trying to take it easy, but know, I was in Page and I was like, I don't need any more rest days. You know, I'm feeling really good. And then that 100-mile day hit, and it was like, oh God. The main thing I need to rest is my ass. Turn into a problem. Well, that's content. I'd like some real food, and I want something. I was having this issue in the gas station when I was like picking out a snack. What I really want is like something savory. You know, meat in it. Real meat, not that shitty like beef jerky I had. I leave Bluff for 1 second. 10% grade, right out the gate. I hope this is one of those things where all the elevation's up front and then I just coast into the town. It would suck if the town itself was at the top of a hill. I could check the elevation profile, but I'm kind of scared to. I don't want spoilers. Also, somehow the sun manages to be behind every shot. I don't know how my back is always to the sun. I've forsaken. Now that's what I'm talking about. You can see the town in the distance. It's something to strive for. I don't like that there's a car coming down the hill on the far side of it, because that kind of implies that we're going to have to climb that hill. But yeah, I think that's a town called White Mesa. Hill conquered, more to come. I think that's Blanding. In which case, we're almost there, baby. Fuck. Wyoming landscape. It's very green now. And I had a few like gnats flying around my face. Haven't had like bug encounters like that before, so I think we're getting close to mosquito country or something like that. We've made it to Blanding. Well, we're outside of town, but still. This means that we're basically back en route. Well, we'll go back off route eventually, but I don't know, I feel a little accomplished being here. There's those weird marmot gopher things, and horses and cows. Oversized load, apparently. Oh yeah, it is pretty wide. Guys, we did it. We made it to 70. I have no clue. So there is a federal bike route system that is numbered, and I literally have no clue. Like, nobody identifies them by the numbers because it's very inconsistent. Like, the signs are just kind of random where they are. Also, the sheriff pulled over a ways back. I thought maybe he was pulling over because of me. I wonder if I've been thinking since it happened, I wonder if he ran the license plate to see if there was like a bench warrant. That hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet anyways. Yet. I shaved the unlucky mustache though, so who knows. 50 miles, 3,500 feet of climbing. That was not an easy day, which is a problem. I can feel it being a problem on my ass with the saddle sores. Oh, I lost a volley strap bringing the bike. I had to go upstairs. I've noticed motels stopped having elevators, like a few states back.
I had put Arizona behind me, and Utah would be done not long after. Ahead of me lay the next challenge, the mountains of Colorado. Would the elevation and the fact that I had been away from home for a month catch up to me? And will I survive to see the Great Plains? Thanks for watching. The charity drive continues, so as always, donations are appreciated, as are algorithm juice such as likes, comments, and shares. This is the first outro I am writing after the public release of the first episode, so I appreciate how well the charity is doing and the support that has been shown. Thank you.